With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Hello and welcome to the Green and Growing Show. I'm Pat Tebow, Ellis County Master Gardener with K-State Extension and Research, the Cottonwood District. This morning we have Jamie Sear with us. Jamie is the Northwest District Forester with the Kansas Forest Service.
Hi.
Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you.
And would you tell us a little about pine tree problems?
Yeah, so this early spring and even into the summer, I've had a lot of calls about pine tree problems, and people are super worried that they have pine wilt. But there's actually 4 big problems you can look for when looking at pine trees. And so most of the calls I got early this spring, anytime from April to maybe mid-May, were drought related. So we had this really dry winter. There was no precipitation for the trees to use while they were still transpiring, and it really took a toll on our pine trees. And so you can tell the difference between the drought stress and pine wilt based on the timing. So pine wilt won't emerge until maybe late summer, like late July, early fall, something like that. But drought-related symptoms should show up when you're expecting things to start greening up. So it's probably the majority of what you saw. I also went out on several calls and saw tip blight problems. So the needles will turn brown. It usually starts at the bottom of the tree and works its way up. And it's not something that happens really quickly or dramatically in one growing season. So if you've noticed that your pines have problems starting maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even up to 10 years ago, and they're still just browning slowly, that's a tip blight problem. And tip blight is a type of fungus that's treatable but not very economically treatable. So if you have a tip blight problem, you can apply 2 to 3 rounds of fungicide per year, about mid-May, early June, 2 to 3 times, but then you're gonna have to do it every single year after that. And so for producers around here who have pine trees in their windbreaks, that's not a very economical situation. So the best thing you could do is start another row of trees, get those trees up and growing, and by the time the needle blight, or I guess the tip blight, has taken over your pine trees, and you have a whole nother row waiting for you to provide shelter. There is another type of fungus called needle blight. It's a little bit different. It starts on the interior portion of the branches and works its way out. And that type of fungus is treatable economically. It takes 2 to 3 rounds of fungicide per year for 2 to 3 years, and then it's pretty well cleaned up. And that's not very common out here. Both of the fungus issues are related to wet conditions, overcrowded plantings, poor air circulation. So this year we might see some of that with all the rain we've had. But you can really tell the difference based on where the scorching is on the needles. If it's environmentally related, usually it's on the northwest side of the pine trees, and it's just on the very edges. So if you imagine that these are the pine needles, the scorching would be the same distance from the needle edge across all of the needles. If it's needle blight related, the scorching will be kind of jagged. Some will be down here, some will be up here. So different ways you can tell the difference. And if you're really confused about it, we have really great resources available through the Kansas Forest Service publications and then also research and extension publications. And so all you got to do is call your extension horticulture agent, and he should be able to come out and take a look at those and check out our website for all different kinds of resources.
Thank you, Jamie.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Harris, Master Gardener with K-State Research and Extension. I'm here today with a few timely topics. Now is a great time to start a fall garden and plant some crops such as lettuce, spinach, and radishes. On the flower side, remove seed heads from flower perennials to prevent reseeding in the garden. Dig gladiolas as foliage begins to yellow and air dry before storing for winter. On the lawn side, mow turf to 2 to 3 inches and be sure your blade is sharp. Houseplants can come in but clean and wash before moving indoors. It reduces the insects. There's an old saying that says it kind of helps us remember to not be impatient when planting new shrubs and trees. The first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and the third year it leaps. I'm Elizabeth Harris reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.